Hi, I'm the Amateur Gamer, and welcome to my first video. I'll be playing, as you can see, the first Diablo game. So, let's get stuck in. I've already created my character. We'll be playing the warrior. And, well, let's just get stuck in. Ah, just love that music. Anyway, so as the warrior, we are going to be a little bit disadvantaged at some areas, the biggest one being ranged. So we don't have a huge amount of stuff on us right now, but that's alright. We're just gonna quickly sell
Whoa, what can I do for you?
that club, because we don't need it. So, first things first, we gotta go into the dungeon and just, fight stuff. So, again, as the warrior, we don't really have any ranged attacks, and we don't really have spells either. We do have this repair skill, but we really don't want to use that because it actually lowers the durability of whatever you repair. So that's a big negative for using that. And so we don't really have spells, and we don't really have any ranged. When we get into it, we really want to increase our dexterity, because that'll increase our to-hit chance, which is very important. And, well, that's about it for now. We'll get stuck into it. Looking at the world here, because the watercolor is blue... Oops. Did not mean to do that. Because the watercolor is blue, we can see that we've got a specific quest, which is going to be King Leoric. Now, we don't have that quest just yet, but you can tell that we're going to have the King Leoric quest. If the water was yellow, we wouldn't have King Leoric, we would instead have the poisoned water supply quest. But we really do want King Leoric because the crown, the unique crown that he drops, is very good and actually allows you to replenish life. So, very useful. The second quest that we're going to hopefully get, which we do have because we have this guy here, is the Butcher. First quest of the game. Excellent. Has a really good weapon on him when we beat him, but he is a bit tough. So, we're going to have to spend some time to level up our character before we fight him. So let's talk to this guy and get the quest.
Please, listen to me. The Archbishop Lazarus. You led us down here to find the lost prince. Bastard led us into a trap. Now everyone is dead, killed by a demon he called the Butcher. Avenge us! Find this Butcher and slay him, so that our souls may finally rest. Your death will be avenged.
Great, okay. Got our first quest, the Butcher. So, all of the levels in Diablo 1...
The sanctity of this place has been fouled.
Sorry. All the levels in this are randomly generated. Really hard to tell what you're going to get. So we just gotta go exploring. Now, at first we're gonna fight only melee enemies, which is very handy as the warrior. Because, having things actually run away from you can be kind of annoying. But, that's the way it works, you have enemies that run away from you, and it can be quite hard to catch up to them at times. Again, another disadvantage of a warrior not having a proper ranged attack. Now, guys, quickly, there we go. So, as we are just beginning, we don't want to just rush down the levels and go fight the Butcher immediately, because we would die. What we need to do is actually spend some time, like, exploring the levels, gaining some levels up, which essentially just means, running around and killing as many enemies as possible. Nice, everyone. to 8 to 6. Yeah, it's worth it. So, even though I've just found the way down to level 2, we don't want to go down there just yet, because, again, we'll probably just end up dying. So we're just going to take our time and just explore, grow some levels up, because it's important. So right now, obviously, we're fighting pretty basic enemies, nothing too exciting. We might come across a unique enemy. Generally, you find them on level 2 and below. You don't always find them on level 1, but, you know, it's possible. So at the moment, actually having a shield is really useful. It allows you to block attacks. Because without the shield, of course, you can't actually block. And another excellent thing about this game is that you can funnel enemies into a single slot if you're fighting too many. But, you know, still early, we don't really need to worry too much about how many enemies we're fighting. There's not many around anyway. So, first level gained, excellent. We want to pump up that dexterity. It also increases our armor class and ultimately will increase our damage, but it's mostly the to-hit chance that we're looking for here. To hit, as you can imagine, is very important. If you can't hit anything, you can't do damage to it. Which, you know, makes sense. Pretty lucky, actually, finding 2 potions. Gonna be very useful later on. Oh, more potions. I'm not usually that lucky. So again, just bit by bit, kill enemies, collect items. We're probably going to have to go back to town soon to sell off some of our items. Yeah. So that's the same. Saber 1 to 8, 1 to 8, 4 to 8. Much better. And a bow, which, I mean, we could use, but really, it's not really worth it. Skull Inferno, that's pretty worthless. Anyway, so let us continue. So we haven't found any, you know, magic items or, you know, chest pieces or helms, but, you know, that's pretty much expected. You don't really want to go around spending your money early on in the game either, because, I mean, it's just a waste and you end up finding better gear in the dungeon itself. I mean, it could be worth occasionally just, you know, buying a decent cap or leather chest piece or something, but really, you don't need it. Not yet, anyway. Just gonna keep on going. Again, nothing too exciting, too difficult at this point. Magic weapon. We've got our first cap. Yeah, pretty basic stuff. Also got a saber here. I'll have to identify that in town unless I find a scroll of identification, which is generally how it works. If you're lucky enough to find the spell tomes, then, you know, great, you don't need to use scrolls or...
I can't carry anymore.
Got our first. Okay. Actually, I probably should dump one of the basic ones, shouldn't I? So we want stuff, because it's worth more money. And that's the one that I dropped. So as you can already see that we're in a bad position for items. So I'm going to have to... I'll clear out this lot a little bit here. Of course one was trapped. But that's the way it goes. So, unfortunately, with such a small inventory in Diablo 1, you do have to go back to town a few times, at least in the beginning. When you get later on and you've got enough money, you really can just afford not to pick items up. Just be like, yeah, that one's shit, you know, and don't worry about it. But early on in the game, you do kind of need to collect some money. And you need to, well, be careful with it. Now, as the warrior, we're really not going to need mana, so I can sell that, like most of these items as well. So, we're just going to quickly pop the Griswolds, and we're going to sell the short sword. Just going to go ahead and sell everything but the magic saber, because we're going to identify it.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
And would you look at that? It is a plus 5% to hit. That is pretty useful. Hold on to that for a little while, but I'll continue using that, because to hit chance is very useful. Having increased hit chance, very important, especially early on in the game.
What ails you, my friend?
Healing. It's good to keep on top of your repair items as well. So I'll just do that. Not going to bother repairing that, just going to go sell it. So now we're going to go up here and go find the witch. Another unfortunate thing about Diablo 1 is that you can't run. It's just this walk speed throughout the entire game. Which, you know, you get used to.
I sense a soul in search of answers.
So we don't want the scroll, we don't want the staff, and we don't want the full mana potion. There we go. Okay. Let's get back into the dungeon and keep going. So we are just going to be continuing to fight more skeletons and stuff like that. It's when we get down into the lower levels is when we really start to find more dangerous things. And I think on level 3 is when we really start coming across ranged units. So there'll be skeleton archers. They're going to start providing us with a bit of an issue as the warrior. As you can imagine, fighting archers with a sword, well, a bit annoying, but you can manage it. So still just going to continue exploring this level in the main attempt to just grow some levels. And speaking of levels, we've got our next one. Yeah, you may think, like, people who haven't played the game and generally think of Diablo and the other games think, oh, you know, warrior put all your points into strength because it increases your damage. That is true, you know, strength increases your damage. But oh, bloody fire. But as if you have all this damage, you know, but you can't hit anything, well, you're not going to damage anything. So you just completely ignore strength. You really don't need it. You only really need to put points into strength to increase your what's it called? Your capability on wearing certain items, because items in this game have required strength levels for certain pieces of gear. And that's what you really need strength for. Otherwise, you know, it's really not necessary. It's much more important to put points into dexterity 1, I would say the most important, especially for the warrior, and the rogue or archer, and then vitality is also much more important. Increasing your health pool is very good. Where strength, you know, while increases your damage, yes, it's far better to find like a weapon that increases your damage than to focus on putting points into strength to increase your damage. Okay, it seems like we're getting close to clearing out the first level. Those guys always run. There's a lot of stuff there. Bloody Fallen are always the most annoying because they run away whenever you kill something. A chest piece. I mean, you know, it's pretty useless, just rags. Like the worst. They are the worst armor in the game, but when you don't have armor, it's better than nothing. Oh. Dagger. Yeah, it's also got low durability, so it's pretty worthless. That's why people spend money right at the beginning of a game getting a decent chest piece. Ah, damn it. It can be worth doing. I'll have a look when we're back in town and see if there's an item that's worth getting. Generally, I don't spend gold on buying items unless I really need them. Okay, looks like we've finished clearing out the first level of the dungeon. Okay. Wait, was that a potion of healing? Yes, excellent. We pick up anything interesting. Daggers, worthless. Maces, worthless. That's good for selling. That's a scroll of identify. Don't have anything that's to identify right now. So, just going to quickly run up, sell some stuff, get some more healing, and then we'll go down to level 2. Now, again, we'll have to clear out all of level 2, because the Butcher is on level 2, but he won't attack you immediately. You need to open the door to his little area. So it's such a good idea to just clear out everything else on the level. One, so if you do have to run away from the Butcher, so you don't run into more enemies. And also,
what can I do for you?
To increase your level, increase your capabilities of actually doing damage and killing it. It's only 1 gold, why not? And yeah.
What ails you, my friend?
And again, the most important thing, is to just increase that dexterity. We really need that. Are we close to another level? Another 1,000 experience. We'll get that easily enough. So the really cool thing about having the Butcher is that he drops a special two-handed axe.
I sense a soul in search of answers.
Yes. And that axe, while it is two-handed and you can't block with a two-handed weapon, is really useful when you go up against skeletons. So in the first few levels after beating the Butcher, and especially after when you go to defeat King Leoric, the cleaver comes in handy. It is so useful as a weapon. Now eventually, of course, as the further you get on in the game, you will want to go back to using a sword and shield, because the ability to block much later on is far more important than doing big damage. So yeah, it's super important to be able to block later on in the game. Okay, on to level 2. So this is usually where they try to introduce a new enemy. The normal enemies, you'll come across the same enemies that you do on the first level, but they'll be a bit tougher, a bit stronger. But sometimes you can come across new enemies as well. Just like these guys, hidden. There we go, going up. Bollocks. So as you can no doubt already see, just going down to the second level, makes the game harder. And it's like that for every level that you go to. Everything gets harder. Yeah, come on, kill that guy. There we go. Okay, so we're going to level up. More dexterity. So our hit chance is quite good. That sword having the extra hit chance. Armor 2. I wish it had more armor. But come on, you stupid fallen. Okay. That's going good. Another potion of heal. One extra armor will be handy this early on in the game. So we found the way down to level 3. But again, we don't want to go down there. I mean, for one, the Butcher is on this level and our quest is to beat him. Speaking of the Butcher, he's in there. So we don't want to go into that room just yet. We want to try and get as much experience as possible before fighting him. Our hit chance will be very important when fighting him. Always running. Okay, got that guy. Okay, so we are coming across more enemies now, and harder enemies. So we just need to be a touch more careful now when we go in fighting. increases. That also increases our armor class. Well, our enemies are getting harder, and we do have to start being more careful. It's still not too difficult at this stage in the game. I mean, we're still in the base cathedral, you know. And while enemies are getting harder, it's still nothing to really worry about. The main thing you have to worry about at this point in the game is attacking more enemies than you can handle. So, you definitely don't want to let yourself get surrounded. That's very bad. And, because you can get stun locked, you know, if you get hit, there's a moment where you can't do anything, you can't move, you can't attack back. As you could see what was happening with that hidden. So, that applies to your character as well. And if you're just surrounded by enemies and you're getting hit like that, I mean, even blocking, you know, you can get trapped in that cycle. Sort of identify and sort of identify. Not the greatest items, but you know, worth some money. Why a ranged character is so useful against enemies that run away. Because you can just shoot them. But as the warrior, you can take more damage.
I can't carry anymore.
Much easier to defend yourself. So I'm just going to drop that to have a look at this. Armor 1. Jeez, that is bad. Fit that back in? Yes, I can. So I'm gonna have to go back to town again soon. To sell off that stuff. And I'll have a look at what items the blacksmith sells, Griswold, to see if I can get, in fact, a better chest piece, because this thing's garbage. Another health potion. Health potions, so useful in this game. Okay, so we finished clearing out that area. Let's go this way now. Again, not quite ready for the butcher. We want to try and get a bit more experience. Cool, we've grown another level. Up that dexterity.
I gotta pawn some of this stuff.
There we go, we're starting to, yeah. We should probably go back and, sell some of our shit. So I'll quickly run back to town. While I'm there, I might pick up some Scrolls of Town Portal as well. That'll be very useful. Being able to just teleport back to town instead of having to run all the way back. Yeah, very useful. On the first couple of levels you don't really need it. It's when you get down to like level 3 and below is when you really start needing it. So just, yeah, a little bit more running. I probably should have got one beforehand, but it's not too bad on the second level. Just quickly pop back to town. That music just still brings back nostalgia for me. It is just such a good piece of music.
Whoa! What can I do for you?
Okay. Right, I'm gonna sell that. I don't think I really need that. Yeah, don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that, and don't need that. Okay. So we want to check.
Whoa! What can I do for you?
We'll just quickly repair. Let's have a quick look. So we've got quilted armor, which has got armor 8. You know, not the greatest thing. And then we've got magic items, which I could buy. Nah, those just really aren't worth it. Look, I'll just buy some quilted armor, just because those rags are just horrendous.
Whoa, what can I do for you?
They're not even worth anything.
What ails you, my friend?
So, having that extra 8 armor is going to be so much more useful, and also the higher durability is going to prevent our item from breaking down much sooner. Like, those rags are just, you know, they'll fall into pieces.
I sense a soul in search of answers.
So we don't want our mana potions, we don't need them. But what we do want are scrolls of town portal. I will buy 2. Yeah, just leave them there for now. So it is unfortunate that they do cost so much. If I could find the tome of town portal, then I'll be able to just cast a spell and boom, I wouldn't need to rely on scrolls. But you know, you can't really just expect to get that. You need to plan for, you know, just things not going your way. One thing that I have been quite lucky about in this run is the fact that I've picked up so many potions of healing, you know. I usually don't find this many potions of healing. You usually have to end up buying some before you go fight the butcher, but I don't think I'll have to. Very useful. Very useful. So, let's continue. There's another hit in there, yeah. Still haven't come across any specifically unique enemies. We should come across them soon. I'd be surprised if there wasn't at least one on this level. Now the unique enemies, you know, there's nothing really special about them. They're just, you know, your standard zombie or skeleton. But they have a much higher pool of health and do a lot more damage when they hit you. But the good thing about them is when you kill them, they tend to drop magic items, and if you're lucky, you can find some decent ones. It's just with the randomization factor in all of the levels, you just really don't know if you're going to get one. And speak of the devil, just as I'm talking about one appears. That grey one. Shadow Light. There we go. We've killed our first unique enemy. And he's dropped a magic morning star. So these tend to drop scrolls. I have been given. Scroll of healing, useful. Was kind of hoping for identification so I could identify that, but that's fine. And yeah, we'll just end up selling those. We're really not going to use use a lot of magic. I miss anything? Nah, it doesn't look like it. Okay. Looks like we finished off this area. I'm pretty lucky I blocked that. So, let's continue. Just a couple more thousand. So we should grow another level before having to fight the butcher. And it looks like we've just got over here to explore next. Once we're done with this, we'll go fight the butcher. Something that gives kids nightmares. So we've come across our first shrine. Now, shrines you have to be really careful of in Diablo 1 because you really don't know what they do, and they can have some serious side effects if you're not careful. They permanently change your character, so they can affect your stats or your magic or health pool, and they can be negative, so you can actually negatively impact, say, your mana pool. And it'll be permanent. So I've got my cheat sheet here to just look up what shrine this is so I don't make any mistakes. So this is the Creepy Shrine. And looking at my cheat sheet, Creepy is actually a really good shrine. It increases your strength by 2. So I am definitely going to use that. There we go. And it's a permanent modification to my character. So I've got some more strength. Unfortunately, I didn't come across any more enemies, which is what I was hoping for. I was hoping to get a little bit more experience before fighting the butcher. But, hey, we'll give it a try. We'll see how we go. Now, I am definitely going to save the game, because, we really don't want to be dying here. So, let's give it a try. Say hello to the butcher. One of the things that, if you grew up with this game, was one of the most scariest enemies to fight. So let's do it.
Fresh meat.
The spirits of the dead are now avenged.
Excellent, very good. I'm so glad that I had my dexterity up. And we've got the cleaver, so I'm just going to use a quick scroll of healing instead of using one of those. And unfortunately we don't have any identification scrolls, so we're just going to pop back to town now. That's the way down, yeah. So I'm just going to use one of the scrolls of town portal. Teleport back to town. So we'll identify the Morning Star and the cleaver.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
Okay. So we now have the Butcher's Cleaver. Yep, plus 10 to strength. Very good. Damage 4 to 24. Very, very good against skeletons. Which is exactly what we're going to need it for, because we're going to go fight King Leoric soon. That jagged mace. So that's 1 to 8. That's 1 to 10 plus 33% damage. Okay, I'll keep the buckler for now. Actually, no, I won't need the buckler. But I'll... maybe I should hold on to the buckler just in case. Okay, so just in case, I'll hold on to the jagged mace and the buckler, but I'll sell the rest of it.
Whoa, what can I do for you?
So we're going to sell the falcon, I'll hold on to the buckler, sell the saber, hold on to that. Okay.
Whoa, what can I do for you?
And I'll just quickly repair my items. Okay, I think this is a good place to stop. We've been playing for a little while now. We've beaten the Butcher, the first boss and quest of the game. We've gotten his special cleaver. I think this is the perfect time to take a break. So I hope you enjoyed it. Because this channel's quite small, subscribing will be very helpful to me. I do hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope to see you on my next episode of my playthrough of Diablo 1.